Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
May one rub oil onto his skin on Shabbos? It used to be widely practiced in previous times for people to smear oil on their body for purposes of enjoyment and pleasure. While today this is not the common practice, nonetheless people do occasionally wish to rub oil on their skin for medicinal purposes or simply to pamper it, similar to what was done back then. And the question is asked, whatever your motivation is for wanting to rub oil on your skin on Shabbos, is it allowed to be done? Doing so touches upon three possible Shabbos prohibitions that must be analyzed and negated prior to arbitrating on an allowance. Number one, the smearing prohibition. Does rubbing oil or smearing oil on a skin transgress the biblical severe prohibition of memachek mimareach, which was one of the 39 malachos done in the temple, which prohibits one from smearing creams and the like on one's body and surface areas? Number two, does smearing oil on your skin for medicinal purposes transgress the rabbinical medicine prohibition? And number three, often oils contain good scents, otherwise known as scented oils. Does applying a scented oil to one's skin transgress the prohibition against creating a good scent on one's body? So now that we've clarified the issues that are at question, let us now analyze the answers to those questions. We will begin first with unscented oils and then go on to scented oils. So unlike a very common misconception, there is absolutely no smearing prohibition, not biblical, not rabbinical, at all involved in rubbing liquid oil onto your skin, onto your body on Shabbos. Those who say otherwise are simply doing a smear campaign, no pun intended. The Isser of a machik mimareach is only applicable to thick substances, such as melted wax, lard, and creams, which when applied on a surface need to be leveled and evened, and not a liquid substance to which this action is unapplicable. And hence the first issue that we raised of smearing is completely off the charts. It is not applicable to our question of whether or not you may smear oil on Shabbos onto your body. And based on this, it is ruled in the Mishnah in Masechah Shabbos, page 111a, 134b, 147a, and likewise in the Mechaben Shulchanaruch Chapter 327, Halacha 1, and the Alter Rebbe Shulchanaruch 327, Halacha 1, that it is permitted to smear oil onto one's body for pleasure purposes on Shabbos. And that is the final halacha, and there is no further details to this aspect. So to summarize, if somebody wants to smear oil on their body for pleasure purposes, to pamper their skin, to feel good, there is absolutely no prohibition at all when in discussion of unscented oils. Now let's discuss applying oil to your body for medicinal purposes, which is the more common purpose that one would be doing in today's times. So here it becomes a bit more complex. You see, the sages prohibited doing any medicinal action on Shabbos to your body due to a rabbinical decree. And therefore the Poskim, the Talmud, the Shulchan Aruch, the Alter Rebbe, and the above-mentioned sources write the following: that in any area in which it is not common to smear oil on your body for pleasure purposes, meaning it's only usually done for medicinal purposes, then it is forbidden on Shabbos to apply oil for medicinal purposes onto your body, due to the medicine prohibition. However, to apply medicinal oils onto your body for non-medicinal purposes, but simply for the sake of pleasure, is permitted, as we stated earlier. Furthermore, if you live in an area in which it is common for people to smear oil on their body for pleasure purposes, and the type of oil that you are using for medicinal purposes is similar to their type of oil that they use for pleasure purposes, then since it's not evident to the outsiders that you are applying medicine to your body when you're smearing this oil, as maybe you're just doing it for pleasure like they do, therefore it is permitted to be done. So to summarize in one sentence, if your intent in smearing the oil on your body is for medicinal purposes, then if this is what it appears to be also to other people, that you're applying medicine, then it's forbidden to be done on Shabbos. However, if people think that you're just doing it for pleasure like they do, meaning it's common to be done, then it is permitted. Practically, the Poskim point out that in today's modern era, it is no longer common to apply oil for pleasure purposes, and therefore it would remain prohibited in all areas to smear oil on the body for medicinal purposes, as people understand that that is your intent. Nonetheless, we do have one escape route which gives us allowance. And that is, the poskim rule that the entire prohibition against applying this oil for medicinal purposes when it's recognizable for that purpose is only if you apply it directly to the wound or directly to the area that requires the medicine. However, to spill the oil slightly above it or to its side and have it flow onto the wound is permitted to be done. With that said, let us now discuss scented oils. You see, applying scented oils to your body on Shabbos, irrelevant of the previous discussions we had, touches upon the issue and isser of creating a new smell on your skin on Shabbos, which according to many poskim, including the Alter Rebbe, is prohibited. Nonetheless, even according to the stringent opinion that holds it's forbidden to apply a new scent to your skin on Shabbos, they only hold that to be the case if your intent of smearing the oil on your body is for the sake of creating this new smell or also for the sake of creating this new smell. However, if your intent is solely for the purpose of feeling the pleasure of the oil on your skin, and you couldn't care less about the scent, that's not your intent at all, then even according to the stringent opinion, it is permitted to be done, even though it contains a scent and will recreate a scent on your skin on Shabbos. So to summarize, if you have a scented oil that you would like to smear on your skin on Shabbos for the sake of pleasure and you have no intent of the smell that it creates, it is permitted to be done according to all opinions. And certainly if it doesn't have any scent at all, it is permitted to be done. If, however, your intent of doing so is for the sake of medicinal purposes, then it is forbidden to be done, as we explain. We will now address a few practical questions that come up based on this discussion. Is a person allowed to smear oil on cracked or dry skin, such as chapped lips? The answer is no, as it is clearly evident that one is doing so for the sake of medicinal purposes. However, we will allow the trick we mentioned earlier to be followed, and that is do it in an inconspicuous manner, such as dip a carrot or a cucumber in oil and eat it, making sure to grab your lips around the cucumber, hence oiling them up. Now, what about skin that isn't dry or chapped, but is just itchy? So the poskim rule that in such a case it's permitted to oil it on Shabbos, as there is no apparent skin ailment to other people that they would think that you're doing so for medicine. Now, what about a little baby who has a rash on their skin and they need oil, they need baby oil? It's for medicinal purposes, but it's for the sake of a baby. Is it allowed? And the answer is yes, as the isser of applying medicine on Shabbos to the body is revoked and suspended when it comes to the case of a child, of a little baby, as a child has the din of a chaylush and basakana regarding all matters of Shabbos.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.